Hey everybody and welcome back. In today's video, I'm going to do a really quick review slash overview of the Remarkable 2 and the Marker Plus. So jumping straight in, you may be interested in wondering why would I pick this device over maybe a traditional tablet? And I'm going to cover some of the benefits and also why I'm choosing a tablet slash e-reader over this device. So before we get started, don't forget to like and subscribe and check out the channel for new content. Now, jumping straight in, I'm going to make this video quick. I'm going to show a basic overview. So the last time I checked, the Remarkable 2 with this pen was about $399 US on the Remarkable website. So again, this is for the Remarkable 2. So what we're going to do really quickly, you'll see the device is off and you'll see that we have the screen with some writing on it. That's part of what makes it unique, and I'll explain a bit more. So first thing, we're going to do a really quick walk around. So the back has an almost glass-like look to it. Pretty smooth feeling. We have these rubber feet in case you wanted to put it down. And we have this silverish, grayish strip to make it look and feel kind of like a book. Now there is a little bit of a bezel on the bottom, not as much on the top, so you get a feel for what the actual screen is. Now, what makes this device unique is one word, paper. Or I guess we would say two words, paper feel. So basically what we're looking at with this device is the closest thing to a writing experience that is not with a tablet. So I'm going to show the writing experience in a bit, but I'm going to put the tablet along with the pen close to the mic really quickly just so you can hear and kind of get an idea of the actual friction and how it might potentially mirror what a writing experience on paper looks like. Now, I know there's not much you can do with that over a video, but I'll show the experience now that we actually start the device up using the power button in the top corner. So you'll see the device will blink a couple of times, and then once it's loaded up, we'll be able to enter in a PIN. Now, it doesn't take too long to start up. A couple of things that make this thing unique, and it all boils down to that paper feel. So it's not a fit for me, and I'll explain why, but based on your use case, it might be a fit for you. So you'll see we're at our password screen, and once you enter in the passcode, it usually opens up almost instantly. So again, you'll just type in whatever your PIN is, and then we have our screen. So my original plan was to use this as an e-reader. Now I've restarted it and made a couple of notes on it, and I've gone through, I would say, 15 to 20% battery in under an hour. So I will say, depending on what you're doing, you can use up some battery relatively quickly, which is surprising considering this is not a full-fledged tablet in the traditional sense. So as we've started up, I was going to use this as an e-reader. I started out by loading up or adding in the King James Version of the Bible. And then I have some quick sheets where I was taking some notes. So let's go into the interface itself. So tied into this paper feel is a pretty simplistic interface. You can use your finger to go through and look at whatever you may be interested in, including your tags and favorites. Or let's just say you want to go up here and search your content. It's a relatively fluid interface. You can go through, look at your PDFs, your ebooks, etc. And then you also have the ability to add and manage folders and notebooks. Now, as you can see, I would recommend just kind of keeping an eye on the bottom left, just so you get an idea of how quickly it can go through battery, though I haven't given it a full charge just yet. Now, for the device itself, when you're loading things onto it, so you may have noticed based on the interface, this is essentially it. Now, it's not like your traditional tablet where you're going to load it up and then check out your apps and download things. With this specific device, from what I've seen, you go to the Remarkable website and then you upload your PDF or EPUB files, and then they'll sync to the device, which is how I got this here. So basically, I've put a couple of different things on here, including notes from the device itself, and then I downloaded a copy of this Bible online, King James Version, uploaded it. I would say the upload and sync took under 45 seconds, so it is pretty quick and seamless. But you do need Wi-Fi for that, and you do need your other device to load things, which is not the most ideal for me personally. Now, let's go into actually using the device itself. So if we were in the device and we click Quick Sheets, for example, What makes this unique is the writing experience. So if we were to click on ballpoint pen, now if I try to draw with my finger, nothing happens. Now you'll notice if I'm drawing with the pen, if I press hard and then I slowly lift off and then apply more pressure again, you'll see how that experience, that matte finish, does look a lot like paper, but you also get that pressure sensitivity as well. And we can use the back end and then erase. Now, I don't want to take too much time on this part. It's relatively straightforward. We can hide our sidebar. We can add in some text. We can choose from different options here. We can choose from different erasing options. We also have the selection tool and then undo. So different functions and features that you can use, and then we can click close. And now we have multiple quick sheets. So we can click on those, and then you'll see we have page 404, and you have the ability to kind of go through, set it up to landscape, and as you can see, battery died. So I think it's worth noting the battery portion, and that's kind of part of the reason that I didn't fully charge it before this video. So you can see we went through about 10%, though it shut off before it hit 0. And I think part of the reason for that is reserve battery in case you want to avoid losing any type of work. Now, if you want to charge it, we have a kind of oddly placed USB Type-C port, though it makes sense that it's within this bezel piece here, again, along with that power button. So we have the device, and again, you can see that we can get text even without battery, which I think is pretty cool. And we also have a couple of different options for cases. So this case here, you'll see, has a perfect spot for the stylus. And then we have the ability to put the case over top, and you can bend it to kind of match whatever your needs are. Now, I want to do a really quick walkthrough of why I chose a pretty cheap Android tablet over this. So the Remarkable 2 on the Remarkable website, last I checked in the US, was about $399. Now, a couple of concerns I had with this were mainly the fact that it doesn't have an actual tablet-like experience. I can't do what I can do on this. Go on the internet, download files. I'm dependent on another computer to upload, and then I can only upload what I can get from that computer. So if I have a tablet, I can go to multiple stores online and purchase books, and I have other options, as opposed to this, where there is not only a dependence on a computer, but it's a very, very high price tag for something that doesn't have the specs associated with a tablet that has that price tag. For example, this is an on-brand tablet from 2024. I got this on eBay brand new for about, I would say about $50, and then I got a case for $10. I can do the e-reading stuff. I have plenty of options. For example, you can download the bookstore of your choice, download the books. I don't need a computer to get anything set up. And then I also have things like, for example, I have a camera that I can use. And I have other apps that I can also use. So there's more functionality for a substantially lower price tag, meaning I save myself about $340 if I don't use this. Now, with that being said, this device is not for me, but if you're someone who really, really likes that feel of just traditional paper, and you are really, really big on writing those notes, you want them to be synced and accessible however it is through that kind of tablet-like experience, and you want something that's high quality, this is a really, really good fit. What makes this stand out is, in my opinion, you're spending the money on the fit and finish and really just the overall hardware and software that comes with a paper tablet. So the selling point is, if you really want to spend that $400, is it worth it for that paper experience as opposed to a traditional tablet? So there's no frills or anything major with it. You just have the device doing what the device does. So, and that's it. Whereas with other tablets, you have much more customization. So I'll say what it boils down to is, if you're someone who wants to play games, go on the internet, do all of these other things in addition to take notes, this would not be the best option for you. You may want to go with a tablet. But if you're using this pretty much exclusively for work or writing or taking notes, this might be something worth considering. So if you have any questions, drop them in the comment box below. And I would say do some research on really how this is going to work for you based on how long you need to use it in between charges. I don't think what's happened in this video is the kind of best overall interpretation of the battery life, but it's something to consider. Now, I'll see you all in the next video.